This Chicago doctor makes $380,000 a year and is nearly broke. There's a doctor in Chicago, cardiologist, 14 years in practice. He makes $380,000 a year. He drives a leased BMW he can't actually afford to buy outright. His kids are in a private school that costs $34,000 a year per child. There are 2 kids. His home is a $1.4 million house in Lincoln Park, financed on a jumbo mortgage. He refinanced twice just to keep the payment manageable. There's a country club membership he uses maybe 6 times a year. There's a boat he bought in 2021 that's been sitting in dry storage since 2023. Last year, his accountant sat him down and told him something he didn't want to hear. After taxes, the mortgage, the school tuition, the car leases, the club dues, and what his wife calls just normal life stuff, he had saved $6,200 for retirement. That's it, on $380,000. I am not done yet, because here's the part that should really bother you. That same year, a nurse who works at the hospital down the street from his office, she makes $71,000 a year, put away $14,000 into her retirement accounts, more than double what the cardiologist saved, on less than a fifth of his income. Same city, same hospital system, more or less. Nearly 6 times the income gap between them. And she's the one actually building wealth. This isn't about the doctor being reckless or the nurse being a genius. This isn't even really about doctors or nurses. This is about something almost nobody talks about directly. The relationship between how much you make and how much you actually keep isn't a straight line. Past a certain point, more income can make you financially more fragile, not less, because of what it invites into your life. Here's the uncomfortable truth. According to a widely cited Bank of America survey, nearly half of Americans earning over $150,000 a year say they live paycheck to paycheck. Read that again. Not $50,000, not $80,000, over $150,000. And still, close to half of them have almost nothing left at the end of the month. The Federal Reserve's own consumer finance data backs this up. Household net worth doesn't scale with income anywhere near as fast as most people assume, especially in the top income brackets under age 55. Income and wealth are not the same thing. They just look similar from the outside, and that's exactly what makes this trap so easy to fall into. So, why does this happen? Let's break down the mechanism because it's not random. It's completely predictable once you see the pattern. Layer 1. The reference point shift. When your income rises, you don't compare your life to where you were 5 years ago. You compare it to your new peer group, other doctors, other 6-figure earners, other people in your new zip code. The bar moves the instant the income does. That $1.4 million house doesn't feel like a luxury to a $380,000 earner. It feels like the minimum to not feel behind. Every colleague he golfs with lives in a similar house. Every parent at his kid's private school drives a similar car. The comparison group upgraded along with him, so nothing about his life feels excessive from the inside. That's the trap. Lifestyle inflation is nearly invisible to the person living it, because their new normal is defined by people who made the exact same mistake at the exact same time. That's before we even get to layer 2, the multiplier effect of every lifestyle upgrade. Layer 2, the second cost. A bigger house isn't just a bigger mortgage. It's higher property taxes, higher utility bills, a landscaper, a housekeeper, because now there's more house to clean, furniture to fill rooms that used to just be empty guest rooms, and higher insurance premiums. The math is brutal. Every single upgrade in your life carries a second, invisible cost that's usually 2 to 4 times the sticker price once you add up everything it drags in behind it. Take the boat. The purchase price was $58,000. That's the number he remembers. But the real number includes the marina slip fee, the annual maintenance, the winterization, the insurance, the fuel, and the dry storage he's paying for right now while it sits unused. Added up over 3 years, and the true cost isn't $58,000. It's closer to $91,000. For a boat he's used by his own estimate 11 times. That's a cost per use of roughly $8,270 per outing. Layer 3, the absorption problem. Here's the part that traps high earners specifically. Because their income is high, they can absorb these costs monthly without noticing the damage. There's no single moment of crisis, no credit card declined at the register, no overdraft notice. Just a slow, invisible erosion of the gap between what comes in and what goes out. Until, one day, an accountant tells you that gap is nearly zero. Compare that to someone living closer to the edge of their income. When a lower earner overspends, the system tells them immediately. A bounced payment, a maxed out card, a call from the bank. It's uncomfortable, but it's a signal, and signals force correction. High earners rarely get that signal. Their financial fragility is silent. It doesn't announce itself until retirement is 5 years away and the math suddenly, urgently, doesn't work. Layer 4. The psychological permission of "I earned it." There's a specific phrase that shows up in almost every high-income overspender's internal narrative. "I earned it." It's not wrong exactly. He did earn it through 14 years of residency, call shifts, and delayed gratification most people never experience. But that phrase does something dangerous. It reframes every purchase as a reward for past effort, rather than a decision about future security. It shuts down the part of the brain that would otherwise ask, "Do I actually need this?" Because the question gets replaced with, "Don't I deserve this?" Those are two completely different questions, and only one of them protects your future self. Let's put some real numbers on this, because I don't want you just taking my word for it. Number 1, the nurse in our story invests $14,000 a year starting at age 32. Over 30 years at a conservative 7% annual return, that becomes approximately $1.4 million by retirement. Number 2, the cardiologist saving $6,200 a year, if he doesn't change anything, ends up with roughly $620,000 over that same 30-year window, on more than 5 times her income. Number 3, if the doctor simply matched her savings rate, not her dollar amount, meaning he saved around 20% of his income instead of under 2%, he'd be investing $76,000 a year. Over 30 years at 7%, that's north of $7.6 million. Same person, same income. Completely different life. Purely because of one decision. What percentage of income gets protected before lifestyle gets to touch it? Number 4, and this one matters most. The nurse never had to make a dramatic sacrifice to hit her number. She set up an automatic transfer the week she got her first raise, before she ever felt the extra money in her checking account. The doctor never made that decision. Every raise just quietly expanded what normal meant. His income roughly tripled over 14 years. His savings rate, as a percentage, actually went down over that same period. More money came in, and somehow, less of it stayed. Let me show you exactly how this plays out with a second pair of people, because I want you to see this isn't about one doctor or one profession. Marcus and Terrence grew up 2 houses apart, same public school. Both became electricians, licensed within a year of each other. By their late 30s, both were earning close to $95,000 a year. Solid, respectable income for their trade, well above the median household income in their state. Marcus upgraded his truck every 3 years. New payment each time, never fully paid off. He and his wife ate out 4 nights a week, comfortable that they'd earned it after long days on job sites. Nothing outrageous, nothing anyone would call reckless. Just normal, invisible lifestyle creep, one small decision at a time. A slightly nicer truck, a slightly bigger TV, a slightly more expensive vacation each year because the last one felt like it needed a follow-up. Terrence drove the same used F-150 for 11 years. Same neighborhood as Marcus, nearly identical house, same modest square footage. But the day he crossed $80,000 in income, he set an automatic transfer of 18% of every paycheck into a retirement account before it ever touched his regular checking. He never saw that money as his to spend because it left his account before he could form an opinion about it. He calls it jokingly, paying the version of me that's 65 before I pay the version of me that's 38. At 52, Marcus has $61,000 saved. Terrence has $740,000. Same trade, same income bracket for most of their careers. Nearly 12 times the outcome. That's before we even talk about what Terrence's money will do in the next 20 years if he simply leaves it alone, untouched, compounding quietly in the background of a completely ordinary life. Here are 7 reasons this gap keeps happening, structured the way I'd want someone to explain it to me before it happened to my own bank account. Reason 1. Automation always beats intention. Willpower is a finite resource, checked daily, and it runs out faster than most people admit. A transfer that happens on payday, before you see the money, never has to fight your willpower at all. It doesn't ask permission. It just happens, the same way a bill payment happens. And over time, your brain simply stops registering that money as available in the first place. Reason 2. Lifestyle upgrades are almost always permanent, while income increases can be temporary. A layoff, a health issue, a market downturn, a malpractice claim, income can shrink, sometimes suddenly. A $1.4 million mortgage does not shrink with it. Neither does private school tuition once your kids are enrolled and you don't want to disrupt their lives. Fixed costs are sticky, income is not. Reason 3. High earners rarely track spending because the immediate consequence of overspending, a declined card, a bounced payment, almost never shows up. Poverty is loud. It forces a monthly reckoning. This kind of financial fragility is silent, right up until it isn't. And by the time it becomes loud, the fix requires years, not weeks. Reason 4. Enough is never defined in advance. Without a number, the target keeps moving every time income rises, and there's no line that says stop. Ask most high earners what number would make them feel secure, and they genuinely don't know. The number keeps rising along with the paycheck, always staying just out of reach, always 10 or 20% above whatever they currently have. Reason 5, the cost per use math almost never gets done. That least BMW, driven mostly to the hospital and back. If you calculated the true cost against actual use, most people would be stunned by the number. Nobody runs that calculation because nobody wants to. It's much more comfortable to think about the monthly payment in isolation than to think about what that payment is actually buying, divided by how often it's used. Reason 6, social comparison resets with every income bracket. The moment you move into a higher tax bracket, your peer group quietly shifts with it. You stop comparing yourself to where you started and start comparing yourself to where your new colleagues already are. Colleagues who may have inherited money, married into money, or simply started saving decades earlier. The comparison is not apples to apples, but it feels that way from the inside. Reason 7, nobody teaches the difference between a raise and a windfall. A true windfall, a bonus, an inheritance, feels different psychologically, and people are often more careful with it. A raise, on the other hand, gets absorbed into the monthly budget almost immediately, treated as always having been there, even though a year earlier it didn't exist at all. So what do you actually do with this? Not vague advice. An actual plan, broken into steps you could start this week, this month, and this quarter. This week, calculate your real savings rate, not the dollar amount, the percentage of gross income actually being automatically invested before you touch it. If you don't know the number, that's the first problem to fix. Most people who feel financially anxious despite a high income have never actually calculated this. They estimate. Estimates in this area are almost always wrong, and almost always wrong in the same direction. They overestimate how much they're actually saving. This month, set one automatic transfer that happens the day you get paid, not the day you remember to do it. Even if it starts at 10%, the mechanism matters more than the amount right now. You can raise the percentage later. What matters immediately is removing the decision from your own willpower and handing it to a system that doesn't get tired, doesn't rationalize, and doesn't have a bad week. This quarter, define your number. Not a vague more is better. An actual dollar figure for what enough lifestyle looks like for you. In writing, before your next raise arrives. Because the raise is coming. And without a number defined ahead of time, it will simply become the new baseline, the same way it did for the doctor in Chicago. Write down what a fully funded, comfortable life actually costs for your family. Then decide in advance that anything above that line goes toward the future, not toward the next upgrade. This isn't about deprivation. This isn't about never leasing a nice car, never sending your kids to a good school, or never owning a boat if a boat genuinely brings your family joy. If that's authentically aligned with what you value, that's your decision to make, and no one else's. This is about intention, making the choice consciously with the math in front of you, instead of letting each decision get made quietly by default, one upgrade at a time, until an accountant has to be the one to tell you the truth. Let's go back to the doctor one more time, because there's a detail I left out until now. When his accountant showed him the number, $6,200 saved against a $380,000 income, his first reaction wasn't anger, it was disbelief. He genuinely didn't know how it had happened. He hadn't made one bad decision. He'd made 200 small, reasonable-feeling decisions, each one easy to justify on its own, none of them dramatic enough to trigger alarm. That's exactly how this works. Nobody goes broke on a high income because of one catastrophic purchase. They go broke one quiet, defensible decision at a time for years, without ever adding up the total. The nurse down the street never had that moment because she never let herself see the money in the first place. It left her account before she could form an opinion about it, and 18 years from now, that single mechanical decision, repeated every 2 weeks without fail, will likely be the difference between working past 70 and retiring exactly when she chooses to. Income was never the variable that mattered most. What you protect before you spend, that's the whole story. The doctor and the nurse worked in the same building, saw the same patients pass through the same hallways, and one of them will retire in comfort while the other is currently negotiating with an accountant about whether retirement is even realistic at 65. That gap didn't open on the day the accountant delivered the number. It opened years earlier, quietly, one automatic transfer that never got set up, one upgrade that felt too small to matter. Real financial security doesn't announce itself. It compounds silently in the background while everyone else is busy looking at the house, the car, and the boat sitting in dry storage, mistaking all of it for wealth.